This is Wobbly Wallaby, and today I'm farming a new episode 9 map in Kamado. From one day of farming I get over 35 million Zenny, and of that 11.1 million is raw Zenny. I'll go through farming targets, gear, character setup, farming demonstrations, and would I farm here. First let's look at the targets. I'm farming in a map called Frostang Gully, and there are 3 monsters here. The first is the first seal, which has over 1 million HP. It's level 168, it's brute, it's medium sized, and a water monster. Drop wise, the sticky candy is used for the new ancient equipment, so it's great to have. The second one is the alligator, which also has over 1 million HP. It's level 172, it's a brute, it's medium, and it's also a water monster. Drop wise, the final dust is used for the new ancient equipment. It also drops rough alunium, which is in high demand due to ancient equipment refining. The third one is the Nigel bird, which is the wind creature. You want to avoid this, and luckily they don't appear everywhere on this map. In this video, we're just focusing on killing first seals and alligators since they spawn near each other and they also have a lot of common weaknesses. With over 1 million HP, they'll be really hard to one-shot with Meteor Fission if you don't have good mid-game gear. This map is definitely not newbie friendly. Next, let's look at my gear. For offhand, I use the Helion bracelet since it adds a lot of damage. I use the Aqua Element card to deal 5% more damage to water monsters. For armor, I use the Tires armor since I use the Tires and Overlord combo. I use the Seroma card to deal 15% more damage to water monsters. For garment, I use the Cloud undershirt. I use a Roween card to deal 10% more damage to water monsters. For footgear, I use the Advanced Stack Teddy shoes. I use the Rainbow Fall card for more attack percentage. For accessories, I use the Dog Servant. The extra damage to brutes is a nice bonus as well. I don't know why they mistranslated this to animal now. It helps against seals and alligators who are both brutes. For cards, I use the Greatest General card for the final damage percentage. For my second accessory, I use another Dog Servant. If it was socketed, I would use the Ultraman card for more damage against brutes. For weapon, I use the Overlord Crab Bow with 2 Draenulair cards for 20% damage to water monsters per card. For headgear, I use the Hercules Helm with the Mashin Hero Wataru card for auto attack damage. For face, I use the Epic Spirit Lightning to deal extra wind damage. For mouth, I use Key of the Stars to deal more damage to regular monsters. For back, I use the One-Eyed Captain for the penetration percentage and because it grants unlimited SP when farming. For tail, I use the Prince of Thunder for the wind element damage. For ancient relics, I use the Waze Size. I made Novice Guardian now, so I chose this ancient relic. The extra dex, attack, and attack percentage is nice. However, for Stellar Hunter mains, you'd likely be using the Dark Knight Shadow Ring. Next, I'll go through my character setup. First, I'll look at the Oracle Mirror Extract. I use a Claw, which currently will give me 5% more attack. Next are my guild buffs. For Prayers to Goddess, I get 627 attack from there. This is not maxed out yet. For Blessing of Goddess, the wind damage at 20% is important, as is the critical damage at 50%, penetration at 20%, and attack at 500. I also have 186 refine attack as well. Next, for Acer Monument, here are my extra stats. Next are my advanced ruins. Here are the ones I'm using. The 2 notable ones are the Comet Light Fission Star Rune for more meteor splash damage, and also the Precision Sniper for more critical damage. You should level up your attribute runes if you're still lacking damage. Next is multi-class. There is some hidden damage here. The 30 extra dex and 20 extra agility for multi-class helps a lot. Next are my adventure handbook deposits. My handbook is closer to a mid-game person's handbook since I like to play around with different classes and spend my Zenny on gear. Next are consumables. I really wanted to avoid eating dex speed meals since that can be very expensive if you go through 720 combat time and beyond. Luckily, with this build, I don't need it. I do need Satisfied Feast for the penetration percentage and attack, and I also need the wind converter as this is needed for dealing double damage. With the new update, you can eat 6 mentor potions to add an extra 180 combat time per day. Also, these mentor potions are transferable, so you definitely want your alts to have mentees so you can buy potions there and bring it over to your main. Here are my stats with self buffs. First, for attributes, I have max agility and dex. The rest is in luck. For attack speed, I'm at 480% attack speed. My dex is at 442 and agility is at 250. My penetration is at 66.8%. My critical is at 139. My critical damage is at 301.4%. My auto attack damage increase is at 13%. My damage is at 58.7%. My physical damage increase is at 40.5%. My refine attack is at 1069. My wind damage is at 53.4%. Against water, it is 79%. And against beasts, it is at 18.6%. Which should actually be brutes, again the translation is not consistent. Next are some farming demonstrations. For day 1, here's my starting Zenny and my bag. I'll show you the new combined combat time. Each day you get 450 minutes. Then if you listen to 30 minutes of music, you'll get 90 minutes of extra combat time. If you use 6 mentor potions, then you get an extra 180 minutes. Altogether, you can get a total of 720 combat time. Next, I'll show you my skills. I have Auto Attack, Prepare for Elite, and Work Rider. Inside Prepare for Elite, I have True Sight, Wind Walk, Exceed Break, Meteor Fission, and Unlimited Stars. Here's where I chose to start on Frosting Gully. This was on day 1, and while this was happening, I was observing my character with my other account to get a better idea which spots are good. First, the Nigel birds can spawn here and to the right, but they tend to hug the edges. The ideal spots are closer to the middle and top part of this map. For day 1, I was playing around with targeting alligators, fur seals, or both. From my observation, alligators do not spawn as densely as fur seals, so you may end up wasting time walking around trying to find them, which even gets worse when there's other competitors around. For day 1, I targeted alligators for the majority of the run, and here are my results. For quick sell and selling to the NPC, I switched to my begetter so I get the overpriced skill. Also, your bag will probably fill up a lot, as you can see my temporary bag filled up beyond the 500 limit, so I can get the extra drops from the mail. Here's my bag and my Zenny. I'll go through some of the drops so you can see how much they are worth, and also what they are. Here's my summary. I get over 30.7 million Zenny. Of that, 9.2 million is raw Zenny. 9.2 million raw Zenny is a bit lower than I wanted, so I'm going to adjust for day 2. For day 2, I'll target the fur seals and alligators, and I'm using the same setup. If you start near the top left, you'll be killing fur seals most of the time. The density is higher, so you'll walk around less, and therefore have more kills per minute, which causes you to have more raw Zenny. Here's my starting Zenny and my bag. I eat my wind converters, and I also eat 6 satisfied feasts. I show my combat time is at 720. I set my offline farming and target fur seals and alligators. During this run, I had to revive my character after being killed by the MVP. Having a long offline farming run has these type of issues. I stopped a little bit over the 720 mark. I switched to my Begetter again to get 24% more Zenny from the overpriced skill. After the quick sell, I showed the drops in my bag. Here's my summary. I get over 32.4 million Zenny. Of that, 10.3 million is raw Zenny, which is getting better. I wanted to see how much Zenny I would earn if I farmed to red stamina. Since my food was running out, I just ate another 6 satisfied feasts and left it running until I hit 930 combat time, which would put me into red stamina. I left it way past the red stamina limit just because I wanted to take advantage of my 6 satisfied feasts which I was eating. Again, I go to my Begetter to take advantage of my overpriced skill. Here's my bag and drops. This is my summary. From one day of farming, I get over 35 million Zenny, and of that, 11.1 million is raw Zenny. Since this episode just released, you want to dump as much on the exchange so you can take advantage of people needing to buy this because they can't kill these monsters efficiently themselves. Next, would I farm here? I would farm here maybe once or twice a week. I like that we can get materials for episode 9 content, but you get it in such insane volumes that you'll never be able to get rid of it. Also, as time goes on, the price of these materials will fall as well. This map is good if you find that some of the other popular maps are too busy. For example, Moonlight Grotto is often very crowded. You might farm here more efficiently because there's less people due to the high damage requirements. For raw Zenny, I do feel that you can get better Zenny at other places. Stay tuned on this channel as I try other spots with the new merged combat time for comparison. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe.